to go into the granularity of the product itself. It could essentially just go into one core task. And then we can do feedback for you guys. So you can then maybe do updated prompts. That way, I don't know how many people are demoing, but maybe try to keep them under five. Like, Rich, what timing wise? Like 5 minutes at least?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes. In fact, while we are explaining the instructions right now, can everybody just pop into the chat? Like, I just enable chat access. Like, everybody enable into the chat, who's ready to go, and then we'll just go in that order. Um, and then I think some people are not ready to go, but we currently have right now 18 attendees right now that's actually on here. Well, Steve Finnegan, I can go. Sounds like team one that went into Venezuela. I can go. Justin, I can go. David. David's volunteering. Brian, Camillo.
Oh, you better. I invited him here.
Oh my gosh. Private Brian Camillo, you are ready for a go. You are cleared hot. You are cleared hot. Okay, so that's number three. Okay, I have to reset my computer, so I would prefer to go less. Oh, we got it. Hang on. Yo, no way. Hang on. Some of these people here. I need to go. Priyanka, aren't you ready to go? You've been at this thing all 4 days.
I don't think I have anything ready though, but
No,
It
it
doesn't have to be ready. Like there could
doesn't
be
have to be
like
ready.
holes in it. Yeah.
no, the thing is, I'm very new to like the tech side of things, so this will just literally be like my first ever exploring of the tools and stuff. So,
Let me tell
Okay.
you, when I demoed my first one, I did not finish it at all. I gave him two pages and I was like, I did it in less than 30. And I was like, this is the direction. So it doesn't have to be for you guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. Um, so I just want to emphasize like if there's workflows that you're realizing, talk about that. Like it's nothing is that's why hackathons are here. It's like what you learn from that experience. So don't feel like this isn't a test or anything like that. So the true test is like then like bringing it out there. So
The
yeah.
the whole thing is to get out of the Priyanka, the whole thing is to get out of the perfectionist mindset. That's the whole point. We had somebody about 6 months ago. This is why like I just don't think the market's as bad as it is. And like they sent, I think Amit remembers this person. They sent out a LinkedIn message to a Google hiring manager at like 11:15 at night. And then they're like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "I want to like, yeah, let's interview right now. I can chat right now." And they're like, "So do I take the interview?" Like, yeah, like, well, I'm not ready. And then they're like, well, like, do I do it later? You can. Do you think if I said we'll do it later, you're gonna, no, they're probably gonna forget it. Like, if they say they want to talk right now, let's do this thing right now. So this is you're going today. You're not gonna be going first. It's gonna be Steve, but the people that are in the program, you guys are going. So get your Google Doc, Notion, whatever the fuck. Y'all are going. You guys, you guys are going. Everybody's like, "Oh, market's bad." Like, no, move faster. Okay. I say 5 minutes. I'm cool to stay a little bit after this. I ain't got nowhere else to be other than doing this. Steve Finnegan, are you ready to go, my man? Steve?
Hey,
Huh?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, have all your shit people ready to go. So this is gonna be the order. Steve's going first. Justin Edwards, you're going right afterwards. Brian Camillo, you're going third. Charisse, you got an excuse because you say you are resetting your computer. That thing's not gonna take 1 hour to reload, all right? Nina, you're going after that. Molly, you're going after that. Austin K, I can share what I did. That's the fucking spirit. Uh, Vaishali, you're going after that. I mean, come on, it's like midnight in the UK right now. You might as well go. What else you guys think you can do out there? Tarun, oh, you did demo yesterday. Let me see here. AJ, you are ready to go. Okay, all right. We're gonna get through that. And then whatchamacallit? After that, Priyanka, you're going after that. Nista, you are going after Priyanka. Try to duck your head, man. It's a freaking list. I see all you people. Okay. And then Charisse, you're going after that. Okay, let's do this. Steve, I just made you a panelist.
Okay.
Just show us what you got, Priyanka.
All right. So let's see
Uh,
here. So,
are you
here
in?
you go. Join us, panel.
Yeah, Joe's panelist.
Let's see. I'll turn on video. All right. All right. Hi, everyone. Good to see y'all. Um, okay. So, you know what? as you'll see, I mean, this isn't fully built out, but I do know where I want to go with it. Um, so what the problem I'm seeking to solve is this, is I want to have a better way to select what movie I'm going to watch, right? I mean, so specifically, um, I have a couple different streaming services. I've got a library of owned movies. And I really want to have this notion. I only really have time to watch like two movies a month, right? And so I want to have a more of a quantifiable way to say, okay, I'm in this mood, or based on my interest and availability of movies, ideally that I don't even have to pay for because I already own them or have access to them, that I can see, I can watch these movies, right? And so um, I've got a rating system, and basically let's go to the homepage first, actually. So there's multiple things, issues here that I got to get fixed, but the idea is this is the homepage. It shows what my top picks are. It's not meant to be voluminous, maybe 20 recommendations at most. You can filter, and then there's also this switch to show paid options, but the goal is to, in the sign up, you enter your preferences, and so part of that is you pick like, okay, I have these streaming services, and then you also you pick what your preferred genres are, and then you get recommendations. But you also, there's this ability to go here, and so if anyone on Apple, uh, there's a way you can actually go, and like I can go to my movies, for example, and I can view his list, and I can select this all, copy into an Excel spreadsheet, and then I can import that here. Like I'll just do that real quick. Um, and and get them all here. Let's just see. Mm, so this is just an example. All right, so I imported them, and then I can also, that gives me a much better way, because it's Apple is so poor. Apple's normally great at user experience, but I have no way to like look easily at genres and get ratings and all that, even from my own library, right? And so the point behind all this is just I want to have a better way to figure out what to watch, given that time is precious. Um, and so ultimately that's what I'm solving for. But I've talked to friends of mine and acquaintances, and it's a pretty common problem figuring out what you're going to watch. I think for those people who may have a subscription to a single streaming service and they have no owned movies, then it's, this probably wouldn't be as valuable. But if you subscribe to more than one streaming service and or own any kind of catalog of movies, then this is more useful. And then one other thing I might mention is the site is doing its job if the time on site is actually low, right? Like the goal is to make it quick to figure out what you want to watch instead of sitting around debating for 30 minutes, trying to figure out what to watch. But at the same time, I recognize this tension because normally, of course, you want time on site to be higher. So I have ideas to have other features to get the time on site up. But yeah. So anyway, I think I've spoken enough. Intended to be another page here called My Streams, which I haven't had ability to build yet. I was messing around on bugs. Um, and but My Streams would basically take your preferred streaming companies and show you what's currently streaming on those platforms. So anyway, that's what I have.
I think Rich is trying to
That
say.
was fantastic. I'll tell you
Yeah.
exactly why, because you know, Amit here will be able to tell you from firsthand experience one of the most common ways to get into a fight with your significant other is not knowing where to eat and not knowing what to watch. Like, no, I'm not joking. Like you're straight murdering time, right? It's just like
Yeah,
time is very valuable. So that like right now it's brick out there in the East Coast, which our friends out there in LA don't have to worry about. But you're thinking like, oh, what should I go out there and watch? Or like, I think another really cool one is I always see these like restaurant recs when I'm doom scrolling on Instagram and TikTok. And then like when you actually like are in that part of town or you have somebody else visiting you from out of town and you actually do go out, it's like, oh yeah, like now that you're trying to find a cool, you usually see all these cool spots where you never go down, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, this Thursday I got to take somebody out to a cool spot, or it's like that, oh shit, it's been that 1 year anniversary already, and you're like, what am I supposed to, right? And then it's just, yeah, this is
yeah,
a really good idea. Yeah.
yeah. And the pop-ups are meant to. I mean, the goal, right? I think technology. It's an intersection to do it right, to solve the right problem, and to do it in a really an intuitive way and in a beautiful way. That technology becomes art in that case, and that is really kind of what motivates me. And that's what I'm attempting to show here.
Yeah, I definitely, Steve, this is very funny. I actually thought of a product idea like this years ago, but now
Hmm.
with five, it's funny. It's kind of giving me a little deja vu. It's making me a little happy here. I have two pieces of advice when it
Hmm.
comes to what you can further validate. One, you said that you don't want users to feel overwhelmed. You might want to play with just giving them a recommended like top list.
Hmm.
And then two, you also mentioned timing. You might want to play into people's schedules to understand how long of a movie they want to play because that also can help
Oh, it's a great point.
downstream but like I really enjoyed the direction and the story and just coming from someone that has a family that watches so many movies I can't even tell you. I think it's really great what you did. So thanks for
I
sharing.
actually, I like I'm planning to actually deploy this as a site because I went out and I was surprised I was able to get it. I actually got the domain name flixpic.com. And so I do plan to actually deploy a version of this. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Great feedback. I love that about the time available. So yeah.
So,
Yeah, and you might, if you expand it as a PMF, also want to expand it to other people to
Hmm.
then understand what their genres are. That's also something you could do like a fun little collab with that, especially when you have more than one person in the room trying to pick a movie. It's
Okay.
not an easy feat. I think we can
Yeah.
all admit to that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's well, exactly. And maybe there we could, have a voting option or something. And I've got some other ideas too that, like I mentioned, the if this thing really does its job well, someone should be able to go here and within 5 minutes pick a movie, right? But then that's kind of, as a PM, that's almost a perverse sort of desired outcome, because usually you want people to actually spend more time with your product, right? Um, but there are certain features that that I could build here that would make people feel good about spending more time with the product.
100%. Okay. Dude, let me know when this thing is well, let me know when this thing is good to go because as you know, I fly a lot all over. And one of the things that I do right before is uh I download all these movies. Then
Hmm.
you got to think because it's like a long flight, right? It's like it's
Yes.
the time that you want to go out there and watch, and the movie selection always sucks on the plane, right? So like, but then you're thinking like all the movies. I think it's a luxury right now being able to go to the theater. Um, you got to go out there and compile a list. So just to show people, it doesn't have to be very sophisticated. Steve, way to go! Thank you for being the first one
Thank
to go
you.
out there and step up. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a second here. Justin Edwards, batters up. You're next, buddy. Let me see here. Where's Justin Edwards? Okay. Are you able to talk? Uh, and just for all the students that's in the program to know, Steve here is a veteran of the program. Yeah. So there we go. Justin's
Okay.
on.
All right, cool. So yeah, so everybody knows somebody with kids, or some of you have kids, and something that's common across, parents from anywhere is that they want their kids to win, right? But there's a couple variables that are kind of tough to maximize there. One of which being nutrition. So what this is an application that allows parents to upload scans of different parts of their kid, arms, fingernails, and actually videos of them walking to understand whether or not they have iron deficiency, calcium deficiency, motor skills are in line, and posture, among a number of other things. That is something that you may have already seen. It's kind of already out there. But the place where we want to differentiate with this is, and that part isn't done yet, but all of these things actually have a scientifically proven impact on a child's cognitive development ability. So they can be mapped to, one second, they can be mapped to um, their ability, or their brain development with respect to leadership capacity, artistic capacity, STEM and architecture, learning ability, and of course, athletic ability. And so the idea here is to allow parents to track, not just whether their kids have deficiencies in particular nutrients and sort of body conditions, but then also to be given a plan to improve those conditions. And then third, to be able to track sort of what cognitive strengths are being cultivated based on the evidence that they're uploading about their child. Obviously, this is just in the very beginning stages. I just started working on this today as far as the UI. But conceptually, uh, there's a lot of research out there that says that parents are constantly in anxiety about whether or not they're feeding their kids enough, or whether they're feeding them the right things. The doctors will tell you that your kids are, okay. They're not going to die. You're not starving them, but that's not what parents want. They want to optimize, and they want to give their kids the best shot in a very competitive world, which we are all too familiar with given the fact that we're on this call. So that's
Facts. Um, Got it. Are you able to share?
oh, can you? I thought I was sharing my screen the whole time.
Oh
It's
no.
Oh, no, I
No,
thought, yeah,
I
I
just
was
said
trying to
no.
be coy
I
about
was
it too. I was
wondering, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
it's hilarious. Okay, yeah. So this is the as far as I've
so
gotten
great.
with the UI as far. So on the left, this is a growth scan, and you'd be using your phone. This would be something that would be actually primarily a mobile experience. But on the left is your 3D growth scan, iron markers, taking photos of the child's eyelid, motor skills. So you'd actually upload a video of them walking. Um, and then the part that is not developed yet is in the center, sort of uh, a a guide or roadmap into, okay, here's a nutrition plan for your child that will address some of these issues. That would be in this section here. And then underneath that would be a place where we could map sort of where they are or what your plan is to remedy some of these issues. Map that to actual cognitive um, cognitive competencies that you want them to develop. So, you know, for instance, if they have low iron and a normal gait, that can actually that's actually a sign that they're developing the hardware inside to do well in art and strategy. Um, if they have high calcium and precision motor skills, that's actually helping them in terms of their ability to excel in STEM and this kind of thing. So a number of different, you know, ways that we could go with this, and there's still a lot that I need to do as far as how this information is presented in an accessible and intuitive way. But the idea of, you know, empowering parents to track their kids' nutrition with respect to a goal that matters to them, cognitive ability. I think that's a place that's going to be high value going forward. That's all I've got so far.
Uh, Got it. Yo, this is amazing. I don't like one of my best friends. They just had a kid and he has iron deficiency. And I actually saw them like put the drops, and obviously the kids like spitting it out, and they're like, "That's expensive," like. But I was actually wondering about that, and I was, because you always think back. Well, my parents didn't do that. I turned out okay. And they actually do say like it 100% it affects cognitive development, which leads to other problems, and you want them to have every advantage in a highly competitive world because it's only getting worse. So, very cool. Any other feedback that we could have for Justin from the rest of my panelists here?
I would say one thing, which is I'm gonna put on my more like my tech, like my data infrastructure, data privacy hat on. One thing, if you were to do this, like if you were to like commercialize this, look up the COPA law. It's around digital and children healthcare. You actually have to get consent to like get their information. I would just look that up just to make sure. And there are some really easy UX footprints that you can follow just to have a check mark to say, hey, I need to make sure I'm allowed to upload this information. Um, I've worked a lot in that space. It's just something in case you like release it. But like overall, I think that is a really important trait. As someone who's dealt with black molds, I've actually realized how much understanding deficiencies is so important. And it's something that's not really utilized heavily within like the healthcare space. So I definitely see potential just like overall. I don't think there's a overall awareness even beyond parenting. So that's just like a couple of pieces. I will just say I did love your intro. I thought it was really strong and it was a really good hook, which is why I actually didn't say anything because I was like, okay, I'm actually like into this storyline right now. So I think you did a really good job like presenting that. So I just wanted to give you a little kudos there.
100%. I think it also like would really resonate a chord because a lot of hiring managers are also parents. So yeah, that's a good one to have too.
Yeah,
Uh
the only other thing I'd add in, Justin, that would just go from even just this proof of concept MVP to just a whole new level is if you can show this working on an iOS, like on my iPhone. Because then it's just the most seamless possible access of, okay, you can't fuck this up at all, right? New scan immediately opens up the camera and then you're all set. And to Rich's point, most hiring managers are parents and they can immediately then see themselves like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to make sure my kid is healthy, ready to go. But otherwise, I mean, this is awesome.
That
yeah.
is a great call out because imagine trying to get your kid on the desktop, like on your
Uh,
desk.
yeah,
Yeah, like
that's the word. Right?
that was a really good call out.
100%. I mean, we talked about earlier this week, we talked about problem statements, right? So things like, like not knowing what to watch or like, imagine like, you have a long flight ahead of you and you want to go out there and get some of the movies out of the way, right? These are like, we don't really need to go ahead and overthink it. Very cool. All right. Next person to come up, Brian Camillo from joining us here from LA, beautiful sunny Los Angeles. Uh, Brian, are you ready to go? Next person after that's going to be Austin, and then we got Molly, then we got Nina, then we have Vaishali, AJ, and then we have Charisse, we got Priyanka, and we got Nista.
Quite cool. Can I start?
Floor is yours, Senator.
Yeah.
Show them the Trojan spirit.
All right. So a little background about the problem statement. It's kind of like my personal experience that happened like 3 days ago or 2 days ago. Um, I was so busy, like pretty much the whole day that I was like, damn, I only have like 20 minutes to come up like three ideas. And out of the three ideas, I was like I had to use like AI to like generate some ideas. And I got like healthcare, um, school problems, etc. Then during the during the Zoom call, I was like, "Oh, what if I created a platform where you can just share ideas from the start?" So my user persona is mainly for product managers or for aspiring hackathon people who's trying their best to win or to generate ideas from the start. Let me go ahead and share my uh the Gemini. Or so I created a Gemini, but I started as Gemini, try to do it lovable. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Um, so so I was looking for lovable. I think the problem so this is kind of like pretty much the whole interface. You pretty much just generate ideas. You can press space just to create more ideas, but I'm gonna focus more on Gemini because it has like I created like or I asked Gemini to use their Gemini API to generate more or or concise ideas. So, for example, I can just generate ideas from the start from the get-go. You can either click on surprise me or just press space. Um, I kind of like created ideas from random, which I really like. I can be more specific from problem like, hey, what is a common problem happening at USC? So I'm just gonna wait. Um, it takes a little bit longer in Gemini because just sharing ideas of managing the failure residency course where students receive academic credit solely for sharing their current yada yada yada. I think the most important thing is I added like an accessibility feature just so that they can just listen to it. I think the most important is I also thought of like having more like more detail like on the back end. If I click on view blueprint, you can see the problem analysis, or like I thought of like having some sort of like a problem statement or like like a problem space followed by a solution space. So like so that is a problem. Who is your target personas? Academic grounding is kind of like there's kind of like some that this the this is the kind of like the summary of just supporting the data of case studies, supporting that this is actually a problem. This is not clickable for now, but I'm definitely trying to ask Gemini to, hey, can you make sure that I can click this just to see that this is actually a real plan. There's also a build plan, or I can expand like roadmap, also run critique. So the roadmap is kind of like if you really like this idea, it would build you like, hey, this is kind of like you can do from day one all the way to, I guess, like 6 months, a year. Um, has like phases or 48-hour MVP roadmap. And I guess like this is kind of like a more critique. It's kind of like this is kind of like the risk of taking this problem, and this is kind of like a solution to like making sure that you're going to the right track. So yeah, this is kind of like my product idea for this hackathon.
So you went meta on this.
Yeah.
So you built a tool for the people that's currently in this hack. That is the most USC IYA answer and build I've seen.
Something I learned during this fall.
Uh, so this is all this is all stock Gemini
Yeah.
outputs. Like you didn't touch
Yes.
UI. Okay.
I asked that, I guess like for interface, it started like a little bit junky by sort of like, I think the most important part is kind of like the, I guess the homepage, or just seeing this big, um, big text. So since it's kind of like the most important part to look into, like this is kind of like the main, um, like topic that you can explore. I believe, there's like retention. I think, if you can like generate more ideas, it kind of tells or kind of generate you like more, maybe like retention, I believe, has efficiency, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, Brian, I have to be honest. I did the same thing on a hackathon with Rich. I did that same thing. So I think pulling in a customer pain point that everyone's doing is a great way to kind of bring this into face. And I think something, if you wanted to, also showcasing why you chose Gemini could be a great story to like communicate to an audience, be like, ultimately, I chose this. Um, with your product, something to keep in mind, you're focusing on hackathon users, correct?
I'd say both hackathon users and also product managers, I guess,
Okay.
or even founders in general. So like my background, I guess me and David goes to the same program, and a lot of us are like founders, or a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of us are like aspiring entrepreneurs, and I think this kind of a great tool to start looking into like ideas that they can turn into a product.
You could also, if you want to play into the founder thing, you could probably try to figure out what PE firms are selling, what they're like acquiring, since it's really competitive. So you can either go that route, or with the hackathon route, you can actually like understand what the definition of a hackathon is, like what the one they're performing and like that criteria. And then potentially, so depending on my advice, I would try to choose one lane persona, But if you feel like you're going more towards the PE one, that might be an interesting route, especially for founders, knowing that they need to either do a new PMF, or they want to do something that's actually sellable and viable on that end. New companies are coming up in less than 6 months. So if there's a tool out there that's like, hey, these are the PE firms or financial firms that are actually investing in these ideas, like this is kind of just some food for thought there. But overall, I think it's a great direction in what you've you thought of. So yeah, those are just my
Yeah, similar to what Kylie said, I think the big other partnership would actually just be there's a lot of collegiate campuses whose computer science programs are straight up like, hey, yeah, we're hosting a hackathon just so we can get more kids and students aware of what a hackathon is and getting into the mentality of doing so. So you could actually either partner a lot more directly with them, and you'd have a really good channel of distribution of every college student effectively, or at least every college and at least a subset of their comp sci students as well.
Sure.
Yo, that was absolutely awesome. Next person up is going to be Austin. Are you ready to go? Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, let me share my screen. Okay, do you see my screen?
yes, that's good. You said yes, we do.
Yeah, we did. Whoa, give me a second here.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I can't see what screen I'm sharing, so I'm hoping it's the right screen.
It's a lovable screen. It
Okay,
has
so
little glowing dots on it.
okay, I would explain it. So
Yeah.
I didn't have the time to complete it.
No,
But
it's okay.
I'm presenting something called a vibe. So what it is, I feel like right now in this day and age for us, like for younger people, th this application is an application to help you find events and to figure out where you want to go to, depending on a heat map. So, in my opinion, the problem I'm trying to f solve is that I don't think people have a problem struggling to find things to do. I think people struggle is to decide what to do. There's too many apps, there's too many tabs, there's no clear signal of like what exactly is going on or what's the most popular idea or event to go to. And I feel like group plans, store, and weekends just get wasted. So essentially, my solution is to build the final decider before people go out. This is essentially an activity first social map that shows out live heat zones of what's active in the city. It's gonna have events and venues, and also have something like stories, ratings, and highlights depending on the zones you pick. So this is kind of what the image is trying to show. And so essentially what it is that you don't browse what's going on or you try to figure out what's going on. You say, okay, the most popular thing that's going on right now is um this free restaurant or this food festival. So here's where you can go to. And the events tab also has that as well to show you exactly what's going on. I feel like the event places and Eventbrite or anywhere you look have these kind of places, but again, you don't know what really is going on. You don't know what's the one that's the most popular or the one that's most adventurous. And this is just meant to match you towards the ones you would like to go to. The same thing with the social layer. So the messaging feature of the application as well, the messages are only unlocked through you going to the same shared events. So same event, same heat zone, same type of vibe, So try something to anchor to in terms of like where and how you met. It's meant to be more about where you met at. So the app will tell you guys where you guys met or what event what similar events you guys went to. Of course, the initial market size for this is probably between like people between 20 and 30s. And I want the app to sit somewhere between like discovery and action. I want it to somehow be tied to like some of the stories be tied to like Instagram or Snapchat or whatever you want. Because again, Snapchat has a map. that doesn't show something like this, doesn't show you exactly what's going on. And this is kind of what I want. I hope that this becomes like a real-time, like world decision engine that powers, nightlife or events or dining or just bridges communities together. So that when people are already like dressed and ready to go, this is the app they go to find their to decide their final decision of where they're going for the day or the night.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anybody have any feedback for that?
I like it. It's like a more actionable meetup, right? Uh, so I think it's a really cool idea. I'm just curious on how how everything gets kind of separated, or you get people to commit to a lot of the events themselves. If it's only just live stuff, or if you have to kind of plan in advance that I'll be in deep Brooklyn versus in Manhattan or something like that.
Wait, say that
Yeah.
again?
Like what, how exactly it accounts for planning. So like I'm in, in New York, being in Manhattan versus Brooklyn are two pretty not accessible to get to, especially later on in the night. So it's like,
Hmm.
how can if it's showing things that are only live, am I kind of shit out of luck and I missed the boat versus, things that occur now or within, the next, I guess, like 2 hours or so.
I kind of wanted it to be like, I guess like that the day, like the day
Mhm.
off, or maybe it could also be the week. I think if it's just that, I think that could just requires a bit more further planning in terms of what's going on. But I
Mhm.
think the main thing is just you just figure out, okay, what are we doing for that week or what's we doing for that day? And with any events you go to, normally there's a sign up. So
Mhm.
you have if you have a kind of like an idea, okay, how many people are signing up to this type of event, then you kind of know where everyone's heading for the night. I think
Right.
it's the same thing with like bars or whatever the case is that you you probably have like 3 or 4 options to go to. But I think what ends up happening is that you don't know whether to go to the bar in the west or the bar in the south. So you might want to go to the one that's more popular or when people want to go more of. But it's just an
Mhm.
initial iteration, and I'll see if I can take you somewhere or not.
Yeah.
One thing you want to consider, and I don't know if you were thinking of this. I assume this is going to be mobile, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that would probably be something I'd recommend, like making it mobile forward. Most people that go in as an expat New Yorker, like going to events, it's very much on mobile. Something you might want to play with, which is how people dictate some of the night, is people that are taking pictures and videos. So if there is a way you can tap into that, where you can essentially see if someone's like, you're seeing a lot more people taking pictures in a certain area of a certain event venue, that can also persuade, like, sway people. So I know you were kind of emphasizing that, but you might want to like pull into that string a little bit more. I think when people actually see what's happening, it's going to actually entice them to go.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's
yeah.
kind of what like again, I think just an addition of like ideally this would be like what I think Snapchat would kind of does. Like Snapchat has a map and it shows like you can when you click on your area, it can show you like what the snaps people take around your area. But what they should just tie it into is just events or spots where people are. So you can actually know where they go to. So I would like this to like replace this or be in
Yeah.
it.
But if you were able to not only do Snapchat, but the other platforms like Instagram, if like
Hmm.
you're in the 30s and like TikTok, like I would do TikTok and like Snapchat if it's like in the 20 range, like if you're
Hmm.
doing 30 and above, probably Instagram is more of the realm there. Like what are the best restaurants? You could play into this a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, but overall, like good way that you shared your like your problem statement and persona, and thank you for sharing.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
All righty, let's keep this thing trudging. We got Molly. Give me a second here. Okay. Molly, you're up next, and then Nina, you are after that, and then we got Vaishali.
I think I'm in. Let's see. Yeah,
You're in.
I think I'm here. Hi. I am joining to show you guys kind of like one of the biggest problems I'm having right now, which is organizing summer camps. So I'll share my screen. It's a lot more not as fun, more practical, but
Fun.
it's been a challenge over the
No,
years.
sometimes the most like practical things are probably the things people need the most. So don't feel like that's yeah.
I haven't used this in a while, so I'm trying to figure out how to share it. Oh, desktop. Okay. All right. So sorry about that. I'll put that down there. And I can go to the I really like the framework that you guys put together. I started off with like the niche. So like people that are working in the Denver area and they're trying to coordinate and register their children that are probably around the ages 5 to 11. Can you guys see the screen right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So like it's in the Denver area that I'm having this actual problem, and you have to sort of register for camps between January and May. And registration for some of them like opens up on January 20th. Even one of the camps we've booked our kids for, we registered for like last August. So it opens up way in advance. So they book up really far in advance. So like you're looking at people that are like full-time working co-parents with kids, living in the Denver metro area. We're struggling with balancing our work and whatnot. Um, Overall, it like leads to a lot of stress. We've actually like double booked kids on multiple occasions for multiple camps at once. Like it's very hard to coordinate, especially when the two of you are trying to like work every weekend to find the right camp to slot it in. It's a logistical puzzle. So I went through all of that. What I want the product to do is to be able to make it possible for people to search for camps, to filter by all the different variables. Like pickup and drop off times can vary, like costs will vary significantly. Types of camps based on what your kid is interested in, like is it art, sports, science, coding, something general. The camp location, like, am I going to a college campus or a museum or an elementary school to like drop them off or a rec center? And then seeing like drive times from your personal location would be important. And then being able to mark the camps as like booked or wanting to book, even if you can't actually do like an integration with every single individual camp so that you could book through the app. Like just being able to have a checklist of what's booked and what I'm considering booking. And then having like reminders for registration, being able to export all the calendaring to your personal iCal or whatever, and then or like a calendar feed, and then showing like a color-coded visual calendar of what kids are booked and when and what camps. Because if I could see that without having to add it to my personal calendar, like that would be great. So that would make it much easier to track. So I will go ahead and I will share the um, screen where I put together the little app. Sorry, I'm having trouble with both of the windows. Okay, so here I didn't probably use the best tool for this. So I used this Glide Apps tool. And so I've got sort of organized the different camps that are like here, these are the ones for Denver Museum of Nature and Science. If you live in the Denver area, these are actual camps this summer. So, and I kind of guesstimated on some age ranges because they were showing it by grade. Another thing to upgrade in my app. But yeah, you can do like fossil finders, future astronauts, like eco explorers. My son loves dynamic dissectors, so like I could possibly get him into it. And then the Denver University has a pass camp where it's all about sports, and so you can do like learning to skate, lacrosse, and basketball. So potentially like in the future, if I was able to get this app off the ground, maybe I could get these actual institutions to enter the information into the app because it's a really good aggregator and multiple people would be using it. So it's a way to get their marketing out there and whatnot. But I could perhaps just enter it myself if it was a paid for service. And then if you're able to actually book your kids, you can see how you can sort of like enter your kids in and whatnot into the app. But if you can book your kids, which I haven't figured out how to do yet with this overall UI, you could see them like arranged by like month, week, day, and whatnot throughout the summer. And maybe I'm not actually seeing them. Oh, no, they're still not there. So drilling down into each one of them, you'd be able to mark them as wanting to book or marking as booked. And if you mark them as booked, then you have a bunch of form options to fill out and whatnot. So that's essentially it in a nutshell.
That's awesome, Molly. I think that's a it's one a really practical product that
Yeah.
solves just a huge pain point. The only thing I think to add would just be after a user's clicked booked, if there is a button that said add to like Google Calendar, add to Apple Calendar,
Yeah.
because then you're synced and you don't have to worry about it ever again because now it's in your calendar on top of it.
That's a
Uh,
really good idea. Like when you book an exercise class.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
By the way, textbook presentation, definitely referring back to just the mirror board and driving through the
Yeah.
amount of times that I see Kylie reacting, the amount of times that we have to take everybody along through the process. That is the quintessential way of presenting as a PM, especially when you're working with cross-functional teams. So great job.
Hmm. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Kudos on literally sharing my framework.
Yeah,
Not biased.
a good framework. Yeah.
Just a couple of things I think you could like look into. Is one, you could actually play into what your kids are interested in, like being like, oh, what kind of hobbies or sports, and maybe trying to play into like certain events. I think
Hmm.
that could be something pretty cool there. And I think as parents, I think schedules are a little bit messy in the
Hmm.
summer. So if you did any post calendar work, being able to sync up, oh, like what are the best pickup times, the drop off, and making sure like with your work, like your parents' work are juxtaposed with the kids, making sure, they're coming out on time. But like I think it's a really interesting problem. That
Yeah.
I know for a fact a lot of my friends even struggle with like knowing when to register. And something
Hmm.
else to play into too is like if there's a hot and up and coming, like
Hmm.
one, like, oh, all of these parents are starting to book. Maybe you need to book before it fills up. I
Yeah.
think that's I've heard a lot of my friends deal with that a lot where they're like they can't get them into the camp that they wanted to. So
Hmm.
could do like a cool collective thing with that too and be like, oh, like I was able to get booked into this by this time frame. So
Yeah, I love that. I also love the integration of the events. Like all of those are great feedback items. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome, but it was a really great job.
Thanks.
Realize how much of a problem that was, but I don't have kids, but I would assume like that ticker is just clicking. All right. So let's see who we have next here. We've got uh Nina. Nina, you ready to go?
Yeah, let me share my screen. Hi, guys. I'm so intimidated. You guys have such good ideas. I don't have a product management background, or I thought I did. I mentioned a few days ago that my background is in product development outside of the military. And I work on soft goods, so apparel, accessories, textiles. And I thought that, the skills that I had as a product developer, like translated directly into product management. A lot of it seems different, but some of the things also seem the same in discipline. It's just working on digital products instead of physical products. So that being said, this is my first shot at working on a digital product. Um, this is an idea that I came up with just out of shits and giggles. So in the military community, we have this special perk, every year, we get to eat for free at a number of restaurants. We also get free services at a number of places, like a lot of places give free car washes and free oil changes and things like that. So it's like a running joke in the military community that, when Veterans Day comes around every year on November 11th, you got to like go out there and you got to spend the day maximizing all of these freebies, right? And so if you guys can see my screen, I did a summary of my product, my problem statement, my niche, and my persona. But I'll summarize it all. So the way, the only real way to find out which retailers and vendors are participating in Veterans Day and offering these freebies is by doing a Google search and finding articles. There's usually articles posted by military affiliated websites like military.com, there's like militarywallet.com, and they will always publish a list of restaurants and retailers that are offering Veterans Day specials or freebies. But the problem is that those lists, they often include retailers that are not even in your area. So the only way to like find out if these restaurants are in your area is to like Google search them one by one, and it becomes very tedious. Some websites will list them by state, which is a little more helpful, but it may not even be in your metropolitan area. So they might list something under California, but it's only like in the Fresno area, and I'm in San Francisco. So, um, so yeah, that's where this idea came up, because every year I do go out with my buddies and we try to maximize the day from breakfast to dinner, and we try to get all of our freebies. So this is my product here. This is meant to be not an app or website itself, but I'm thinking this could be a module within an existing app or website. Um, and so what you would do is, this is called I'm calling this the Vet Day Pathfinder. And so you can look up waypoints. These are the restaurants and retailers that you want to hit up on Veterans Day and get your freebies. When you open it up, it's going to default to restaurants and retailers that are within a 10-mile radius of your location. So you do have to give it access to your location. But you can search locations in the search bar. You can filter it to certain things right here. There's also a quick filter right here if you want to only do restaurants, only do coffee shops, whatever. So the idea is that it shows you only restaurants and retailers that are, number one, the ones that are participating in Veterans Day specials. So it doesn't give you like all that extra noise. And then what you can do is, after you generate this list that is within a certain radius of you, and again, it defaults to 10 miles, but you can use the filter to like expand it or close it up. And then you would select the ones that you want to go to. Let's get a free haircut, some barbecue, Heroes Diner. Okay, and then you can go next. And then now you have the option to either just save it, like bookmark them, or this is what's really cool, is now you can build an itinerary, which integrates some GPS. So now what it will do is it will give you the most efficient route to get to all of these places within the day. It factors in things like, like the average time you would spend at this particular restaurant, or average time a customer spends at this haircut place. So that it incorporates that into your itinerary. But let's say with all of the locations you have selected as your waypoints, let's say the most efficient route from your current location places you at Heroes Diner at around 2 p.m. But it's a breakfast place and you want to go there for breakfast, not at 2 p.m. So what you can do is you can lock it to a time constraint. And once you lock it to a time constraint, you can then regenerate it, and it will then adjust your itinerary and your map to the most efficient route based on what time block you want to lock that in at. So that's pretty much it. That's as far as I got.
Honestly, that was, Nina, that was great.
Yeah, you got pretty damn far.
I know.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
like, that was, you
Mhm.
really know this customer pain point, and it shows like as you were going through it, because I know a lot of people like in the military as well, and like they, unless you go into social media, like you miss the FOMO. So like having an itinerary is like so key. I'm gonna give you some two pieces of advice. One is a nitpicky one. You might want to do military time just because that might be like a cool way to make it like efficient and also really take your persona to that level. So playing into that and even giving like some time restrictions, be like, you can play into that tone and language. Um, so there's that. Another point, actually, I have two. One is like if you're doing families, you might want to think about their spouses if they can take advantage of any of those things. And if you did want to scale this, you could also go into deals outside of Veterans Day. For example, like I know Epic Pass offers a military discount, a heavy one, like I think it's like 120. You could go beyond just one day. Um, but yeah, I think this is spot on. And yeah, thanks for sharing this. This was, yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
yeah,
all I.
Oh,
yeah. So you got really far as far as, and this is something that I would definitely use as well, right? So I guess a
cool.
little bit more higher level stuff onto this. Um, Two parts. When you're starting to put together features, you want to go validate it to the user's experience and why it's important to them, right? So you're showing like the time frames and everything else. Cool. But also at the same time, well, for me, I know what time In and Out opens up, and I know that I get a free burger there. I know when Applebee's is serving that free platter in the evening as well, right? So there's already like some nuances within your specific user. So I'm not saying that your feature is a bad idea, but what I'm saying is make sure to validate your idea. And this now
Mm.
goes for everybody in the room. When you're starting to put features into your product, a lot of people, especially stakeholders, love to gold plate and throw every feature onto the product. It makes it fat, it makes it slow, it makes it not enjoyable. So the secret to it is when you're doing your customer process, look at the customer experience, the totality of it. And then you try to go knock out the Pareto, which is the 20% solution that solves 80% of the problems. Start off from there, and then now start going into the Moscows, right? Your must-haves, your could-haves, and everything else. So that's one. On the other side, so so that's the product side. The other side now is presentations. Um, you're a vet, I'm a vet. It's This would have been cooler if you would have been if you took us through the experience and showed the pitch as how it's solving my problem as a veteran. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people get too caught up on making the presentations as just show and tell, and they go through like the little nuances of the features. Don't go through the features. Talk about how it solves the problem or it provides some sort of delighter to your users. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yeah. Thank you for the feedback.
Perfect. One last question for you. Why Pathfinder?
Okay, so in the Army, there's a
That's where I was
position
gonna
called a
get
path.
at. Yeah,
Yeah, the
okay.
Pathfinder is somebody who goes like ahead and they mark certain places, and
Mhm.
that's where the term
Yeah, yeah,
comes
yeah.
from.
You're a fellow who as well, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, so I got you. Good job.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
That was amazing. Then you got real far. Don't think you that was some of you guys need to practice talking to yourselves better. That was real far. Real far. All right, Vaishali, you ready? Uh
Yeah.
We are a go. We are a hang on. Okay. How do I go ahead and get you to? Yeah. Oh, you're already a panelist. Let's do this.
Uh, don't know if it'll work. Hold on, let's see. Oh gosh. Sorry, 1 minute. Is that working? Okay, do me next. I need to quit and reopen, it says. Sorry.
The
Okay,
settings
AJ.
thing got, yeah, no worries.
AJ, you ready? Then let it rip,
Sexy.
man. What do we?
Oh, it's working now. Should I try again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see it?
We
Allow.
menu.
Can you see it? I'll start here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, nice. So my idea was around, I had this idea years ago and I couldn't get my brother at the time to make it for me. So this has been great. Um, my idea was around when you go to a restaurant, especially in this day and age, my age anyway, when you go out, the time that you spend with those people tends to be really important. It tends to be, quite limited. The people that I go out with tend to be my uni friends, and my friends from school, that I don't really see very often anymore. And so you really want to spend that time with them, talking to them. One of the things that always gets delayed is the ordering of the food. The number of times a waiter will come over and be like, we'll have to say, oh, 2 more minutes, please, 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes. You never actually get round to the menu. One of the things that I found is that going through some menus, they tend to be really, really long. You can get pages and pages. You go to some Chinese or Thai restaurants, like these menus are humongous. And so what I wanted to be able to do is to be able to specify what my preferences are. You might have dietary requirements. I'm pescatarian, I'm allergic to peanuts. And so trying to kind of skim through this menu while having a good time at the same time can sometimes, put a stop in that kind of process. So what I've got here is an idea where an app at some point, but at the moment, it's a web platform where you can filter what your lifestyle diets are, any allergens that you have. So let's say I'm vegetarian and I'll just go vegetarian first. You'll be able to select what your preferences are. And then you can upload a menu. At the moment, this is PDF, which I found is a bit of an issue, because um, a lot of menus aren't in PDFs. They're normally photos or websites. So this is the menu that I'm using. I'll show you. It's a Thai restaurant, so you've got lots of different kind of stuff on here. You've got lots of fish, you've got lots of vegetable stuff. So I'm going to upload this in as a PDF, and it's going to find the dishes that I can specifically eat. And so I don't have the noise of all of the other stuff that isn't of interest to me. So what you can see is it's in the same kind of format as the menu. So it starts with the let's start, goes to the soups and the curries. And what it's done is it's pulled out all of the vegetarian and nut-free dishes that you can eat. And so you can very quickly just be like, oh, this is good. I'm going to pick that. And then I think if I was to go back again and then say that I'm not free as well, so you can do a double one and then I can re-upload it. it needs a lot of work. It's not um, it's not fully working, but it takes a bit of time. But yeah, it'll basically narrow down all of this huge menu into the very specific foods that you'll be able to eat. Anything that is kind of unsure about, it'll kind of say not recognized, then it'll highlight it. These ones, obviously, it's not clear. So yeah, it needs a bit of work on the data set. But yeah, that was kind of the idea that I was working on. It's very quick and very basic at the moment, but I thought I'd share.
Yeah, that was decent. So, like, I don't have any feedback. Kylie, do you?
Yeah, I have experienced this customer pain point as a kid. I was allergic to tomatoes, eggs, steak, gluten. I'm a 90s kid being allergic to that stuff. It's quite challenging to find even celiac. So like this does pinpoint a lot of problems that I know like from a customer pain point. Something to keep in mind. I guess with this, let's start. This is only showcasing the foods that you can order, correct? With the
Yes.
other ones, they were on the error handling on below when you scroll down.
Yeah, so the ones that are highlighted are the ones that it's not sure about. Maybe it's recognized a ingredient that isn't maybe on the data set.
Yeah.
So obviously if I get a bigger data set, it would probably be able to cover it. Um, so all of
You
these
might,
ones that one.
an easy error handling thing would be like ask the restaurant. It could,
Yeah,
or like ask the chef. It could be a fun little thing where you're like trying to validate that because some cases like it might not have all the ingredients in there and you might want to even just clarify that, especially if some cases just say wonton soup. They could have ingredients that could risk that. So
100%. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
so
Traces
yeah,
of
so
and things like that.
yeah, so like even if you again definitely validate this with people, but like one assumption I would assume is like maybe categorize it by like the things that are like definitely going to be like safe for you and maybe ones that you're like ask the chef and just to validate that. So that way like you're coming into it being like the last thing you would want to be is like liable if there is actually an ingredient that could
100%. Yeah.
so yeah, but like overall, this does, yeah, I could see. And you, where did it, Lovable? Lovable does have an image converter in
Okay.
there. Yeah, so you could easily upload that. And one thing to keep in mind with like restaurant items too, check out like Seamless and like some like indirect, like direct kind of like competitors like Seamless and like Caviar. They do have things where you can say no nut. So you might like want to tap into, oh, how can I pull that into the application too? Because then that can be a contender as a qualified meal. Um, so just as someone that just orders food way too much.
Same
Yeah.
ones, don't worry.
Yeah. But like, yeah, yeah, thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. I don't know if
No
anyone else
worries.
has
Thank you.
anything else to share too.
Yeah, this is also another example. You got pretty far. Like I think a lot of you think like your project isn't good or like it's pretty good. All right, so we have let's go. Actually, I think this good feedback for next time is to just probably split up demo day into 2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking that.
yeah. Okay. Out of AJ, Charisse, Priyanka, and Nista, I guess Priyanka and Nista, you guys lucked out. Okay, in the interest of time, because Kylie is also here as well. Who has their project like ready to go out there and present? Charisse. Okay, let's get to you. Okay, Charisse, let's do this. Charisse. You're a panelist, so you can go.
You got the power.
Sorry about that. Okay.
No worries. No worries. Nobody apologizes. Like, there's no reason to
Yep.
apologize on
Yeah.
I'm a quintessential Virgo. Of course, I'm apologizing. Anywho, so in December 2024, Coinbase launched prediction markets as part of their everything exchange strategy. And 2 weeks later, the Illinois Gaming Board sued them, claiming prediction markets are illegal gambling under state law. Coinbase sued back, arguing federal jurisdiction instead of state jurisdiction. And by January 2025, Michigan and Connecticut also followed with their own cease and desist letters. This is a nightmare scenario for compliance officers at crypto exchanges. They're caught between the CFTC saying prediction markets are legal commodities and state regulators saying that they're illegal gambling. Here's the pain. Traditional multi-state legal review takes 6 to 8 weeks and costs $50,000 to $100,000 per jurisdiction in external counsel fees. And by the time you finish the review, the regulatory landscape has already changed, and exchanges are learning about new regulations from lawsuits, not from proactive monitoring. For example, Coinbase's legal costs from the Illinois lawsuit alone, over $2 million, and that's just in one state. So the core problem is, how do you monitor 50 states with 50 different gambling definitions in real time, analyze regulatory risk instantly, and make go, no-go decisions before you waste engineering resources building something that will get shut down? And this is what Crypto RegScan solves. Let me show you how it works. So this is part of Crypto RegScan, an AI-powered regulatory intelligence platform for crypto prediction markets. Right now, we're doing a pilot where we're monitoring 5 US states in real time: Illinois, Michigan, Connecticut, New York, and Texas. These are states where they're most actively regulated. The system will scrape state gambling commission websites every hour, and when a new regulatory advisory is posted, it will be captured immediately. And this is where it gets powerful. Every update is analyzed by Claude AI, Anthropic's most powerful advanced language model. If you'll notice, there's a risk badge. Each update gets a risk classification: high risk in red, medium risk in yellow, and low risk in green. But we don't just give you a color. The AI provides the reasoning behind it, which types of prediction markets are affected, a recommended action. In this case for Illinois, it says immediately pause all Illinois user registration and consult with legal counsel. And the key phrases that trigger the high-risk classification: cease and desist, gambling violation, for example. So this is where we reduce massive friction. Traditionally, a compliance officer will need to manually check these websites, read through each bulletin, forward to legal counsel, wait for external counsel to get back to you, and pay anywhere around $10,000 for that legal review. With this, they have two options. They can open the dashboard, see a high-risk flag, read the AI analysis, and make an informed decision in 10 minutes instead of across days. As well, on a different page, they can sign up for updates. They can get updates real time, a daily digest, a weekly digest, or customized, monitoring whichever states, what level of risk filter they want, and they sign in and they can start receiving alerts. So, like I said, moving on to my use case demonstration. So we have a market risk analyzer. Looking at your market, you can ask a question and decide what kind of market category you're looking at, and it will tell you whether you get a yes, no outcome, multiple choice, or numerical range. So for example, I'm asking the question: are there any new regulations proposed or existing regulations in place that will prohibit expansion in new states? I'm looking at it from a political viewpoint. I just want yes and no. I'm going to my 5 default target states. And I'm saying, yes, I want to have high trading volumes over 100,000 K. And so I click on Analyzing Risks. Sorry, it does take a little while, but it's happening. And so what we see, 0 states that we have targeted are safe to launch. 1 is moderate risk, needs review, and 4 high risks. We have a heat map so you can see state by state, and then we have the analysis. So for example, We look at Michigan, it says the recommendation is do not launch as is. It gives you a reasoning, legal basis, any precedents, and specific concerns. So that happened in about 50 to 30 seconds, and that would have traditionally taken 6 weeks and almost $250,000 in legal fees. And this allows you to test markets before you build and before you expand into them. Compliance becomes a product input, not a blocker. So in a nutshell, this is crypto reg scan. What you saw, the automated monitoring, the AI risk analysis, the interactive market testing. This took less than 72 hours to build. The live demo is currently available at cryptoregscan.lovable.app. You can test it yourself right now. And so with that, thank you for your time.
Can I see that heat map one more time of the country? Amazing. What that was what's your background, by the way?
So I'm a mechanical engineer who fell into regulatory compliance, and I'm currently in looking to jump into crypto. So I figure crypto needs compliance people and they need product people. So I'm right at that intersection.
Are you current? I want to see if I'm looking at the right LinkedIn here. Are you with Clifton Larson Allen, or is this somebody
Nope.
else?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Where are you calling in from? The word I never heard.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah. I'll send you, Rich, I'll send you a message on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Please do. Please do. I find this to be I'm very new to crypto, but I am fascinated on the topic, and I think this was crazy. Yeah. Anyways, you guys have any feedback? I thought this was I don't have any positive or negative feedback. I thought that was pretty showstopper right there.
Something that you might have said initially that I would maybe, if you're just scaling this, I would maybe recommend going into just the 5 states and focusing on really understanding that audience and then expanding into the other territories. And the reason that I say that, and I think it's because something David said, and it's kind of in my head, you want to be able to expand into something as you understand the audience more. And since you're still in the you're very much in the validation stage, you might want to consider just like honing in on like a certain like the certain states. And when you focused on that, so if any of the other UX has all the other states, it might be like a conflicting storyline. That's why I just figured I'd annotate that unless someone says otherwise. But like overall, yeah, I've come from a cybersecurity background as well, and I see a lot of these things trickle in, especially. Yeah.
I appreciate the feedback, and you're right, but I was just trying to get something to be
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
show and
Yeah,
produce.
no, and it's great. Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, I'm just like, just in case like you say this story and then you say it like just but that no, like trust me, nothing. That's why hackathons are here. That's why this is V0. Nothing is perfect. So the important thing is just to have talk about it. If you're building it in another application too, like the great thing about these vibe coding, it allows people to see what your mindset is faster, versus putting it into code and like it's gonna be taking arduous more amount of time. So yeah, I think you did great. Yeah, I definitely understand this like audience, and thanks for sharing this. Yeah.
I forgot to say one more thing. I did build in a function where you can export a PDF, so you can also email it to people.
If your audience is a chief person, you might want to play into presentations.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, I have dealt with a lot of requests around just exporting presentation data. I've worked a lot in data visualizations, and some of the more key reasons why people have bought it is because they can convert this visualization and insights into a little presentation deck or even like a little research summary that you can easily share off. Um, playing into that could like be quite a benefit here just from experience working with like data privacy officers and things like that. Um,
Got it. Okay. All right. I think we got time for AJ. That was pretty cool. And I think you showed us all this off of your iPad too, right?
Yeah, so it is mobile enhanced, yes.
Very succinct way that you actually very concise. That was awesome. Send me that LinkedIn message.
I will.
AJ, your last one of the day. Let's do this.
Hey,
Hey.
so let's think about junior product managers who are just graduated or they are into product management for a couple of years and they are into job market actively looking for a job. They are doing 50 to 100 applications every day. They are reaching out to people and hiring managers, recruiters every day. But with preparation, they are not sure like what they are preparing for or if if they are preparing for right thing, if they are preparing their job interest in the right direction. So, and they do not have any interview feedback, or they are not even interviewing with their peers to get real feedback. So, the question here is, they are wishing like if they had some hackathon like this. For 4 days, we are talking with each other, we are sharing our thoughts, we are learning from Kylie and Rich, and we are discovering new like tools as well. So the question here is, how can I meet such people, or how can I like uh, meet with people who are in same situation? Like if I'm applying for a product manager role, how can I meet with people who are in same situation and applying for jobs every day? So I'm gonna share my screen here. Can you guys see my screen? So, well, you landed in a boat then. So, here's boat. It's filled with all the people or product managers who are in the same situation and actively searching job. So here's the first thing. Uh, if you are looking for a job and you don't want to waste time by applying to 1,000 jobs or 100 jobs every day, here's a job board. It's not just another job board, but here you will see real job openings from hiring managers who are in the same community and they are posting by themselves. You can just go through all the available jobs and then if it matches to your skills and then just like go here, apply or reach out to hiring managers here directly. Then next is join community. Here you'll see what's working in this market, what's new, what you have to learn, what people are sharing, what they are talking about the interview process and everything. Next, you can go in the interview preparation and then you can like learn about with your peers that what's working and if they have one-on-one interview as well. Then success stories, people who are actually landing jobs. Uh, in my case, I don't know people who are actually landing jobs, what's their feedback and how they like got the job. So here people will be sharing who was in like in the same situation and then they got job. So how did they get it? So they will share their stories here. And then what are the learnings? What are the new things? What are the new tools? How to be like uh, prototype things? Here you'll see all the learnings. And then there's one more thing, job search. And then last would be networking. So in this, everyone will be like networking with people who are product managers and they are hiring or they are just like want to meet people around their areas and just have coffee chat. So yes, that's all about it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. It's solving a very real world problem. Kylie, any feedback?
Yeah, I mean, I'm directly creating a product like this. So, one thing so I think when you're maybe my advice would be try to focus on one of the use cases. So you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned networking, the job searching or landing the job.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't know how to land the job.
Yeah.
Just from experience. And like one of the things is like there are a lot of scraping tools out there that can tell you like, okay, pull this LinkedIn post that shows how someone's landed the job and their experience. There's videos out there. Try to come up with a unique value proposition, whichever direction you choose. Because if like you want to be a differentiator, if you're just showcasing it, you can actually pull it and then get trends. So people that do X get this. Um, those are things, especially when I've just gotten a job, that's what people have been asking me. And so if you're able to scrape it, like connect that in a way, that's just like one takeaway. But like just maybe just focusing on one area and like choosing something that's really uniquely different. But like I definitely think like the concept is there. I think it is a puzzle to try to figure out, especially I couldn't imagine being a junior PM now. I'm grateful to be more experienced. And that's also why there's Product Gym too, because I don't think I could have been here. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rich, do you have anything to add there?
Enroll in the product, Jim. We solved the problem already. Uh, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
serious. Like this is what feedback would I have for like a discount version of product chip is, um, not trolling anybody. I mean, you get what it is that you pay for, but you're touching on a lot of pain points that people actually have, right? Which is like they don't have. I think you're focused on a very specific segment, which is the international student community that just graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah. First thing I would do if I were you guys is I would go and I would hound the career center, which you guys spent a very expensive amount of money to go out there and actually get this. Like they sold you guys on this degree and this dream, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So like I think sometimes people yell at me. I was like, yo, you give me $200,000, I'd have you at Google by Monday because I would just give 50 grand to a Google recruiter and they would have your desk with the name badge that says AJ Yadav. I'm serious. Throwing it out there for anybody that's going to be watching later is don't pay Carnegie Mellon, Northeastern University, Duke, or any like, or what's the other one? The Jindal School of Engineering. Directly deposit that via crypto or US dollars into a Fang recruiter, and they'll say, this kid AJ is the most exciting product manager I've met in my entire career here at Meta. We need to hire this guy by Monday. But it touches on a very realistic problem. Um, Launch it.
Yeah.
Launch,
Sure. Thank you.
drop that.
Yeah, get feedback from
Yeah.
people. Like that's, I mean, I'm doing that weekly. That's how I'm iterating on mine. So do the same thing and like you'll then figure out what you can keep, what you shouldn't keep. And that's like the cool part about product too. It's like a lot of times it's like, oh, you think you keep building, but sometimes it's like taking like getting rid of something or changing something completely different. It's one of the fun parts I like about this space. Yeah.
100%.
Sure.
Okay. Last but definitely, Priyanka and Nista, did you guys have anything you guys wanted to add? I didn't want to leave you guys out.
I mean, I just started mine, so there's not much, but I can like quickly show you what I'm trying to do.
Please. Let me see here. Uh, Give me a second. participants. I don't, oh, there we go. What do you got for us? You have presentation access now.
Awesome. One moment.
Everybody give a big thank you to Kylie. She's spending her own time doing this. She's already landed the job.
We appreciate it, Kylie, especially the feedback.
Nice.
Awesome.
I actually like doing this, so yeah, I gotta talk to you, Rich. I gotta probably talk to you offline about that. But yeah, this has been really fun. I love doing stuff like this. So no, thank you guys.
Can you guys see my screen?
Could we see it? Let me see. Yes, we can. We can see it.
Awesome. So I'm just trying to do something with like a virtual trial room. And so if say for suppose you're shopping from like store A and you have like your favorite other part of the outfit, like maybe like a jacket or like a pant or something that you're trying, but you don't have it with you at a store, but you just want to like try to see how it looks like as an outfit. So basically like it's a mobile app where you can actually snap a photo of a specific garment or like an accessory, and the AI in the app will kind of drape it onto like a photo of what you're wearing. So pretty much like a virtual try on like most of the companies already have, but just like an entire platform where you can have like your closet right here, and maybe like your jewelry box, like your certain accessories that you already own, but you're also shopping for like a certain event. And like while you're actually shopping at a store, you want to see how it all comes together without the hassle of actually shopping and paying for it, come back home and kind of see what other options could have worked well with it. So the way it works is you upload a full photo of yourself and pick something from your own closet, or if you're actually shopping online, try to pair it with something in your closet and also access the jewelry box and kind of see how it actually comes together as an outfit and like the whole look. And in the future, you can also kind of ask the AI as to whatever is in the closet or whatever you own, you kind of make an outfit out of it if you're running out of ideas, kind of as to what I can wear and how I can reuse or rewear my outfits, not to look the same again. So this is just where I'm heading at. I'm not sure.
Yo, you had something. I thought, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the? This is more than something right here. This is something, right, people? Am I like seeing
Yeah,
things?
you're definitely heading into as someone that's a shopaholic. You're definitely one thing I would probably explore to build out a little bit is the closet part.
Mhm,
Figuring out a way to scale that and maybe tapping into AI to then be like do a mass image of a closet instead of individually doing one by one. I
mhm.
could see there being some friction with like individually taking pictures of each item if that is like the outcome you're wanting to achieve. So like maybe even asking like a group of your like girlfriends to be like, hey, like how would you want to like upload, like how would you want to upload the closet? Like what would be the easiest way? Um, so that might be something you want to explore more into. Additionally, online shopping is also a pretty big thing. So like maybe researching extension, like if you were to do a PMF of this, like extensions can be interesting with this, where you can then look at a site and then compare and be like, how much would this like match my closet, or like how many outfits can I make with this?
Right.
Um, so that could be something you play into as well. Just figured like I give you those like a couple of points there, but like overall, it's like an interesting concept. So thanks for sharing.
Awesome. Thank you. So, like for the closet part of it, I initially, like you said, it is going to be difficult to kind of have everything in your closet on the platform. So,
Yeah.
the way you would start using it is pretty much to like shop something. Say you're looking for something on like Zara's online, maybe just quickly click a picture of what you already have and maybe like a specific accessory that you want to see for that specific item that you're shopping and kind of see how it comes together as an outfit. But as you keep using it, the platform already has access to a lot of your closet, and then it kind of can suggest what outfit you can make from what you already own or what you have already bought. But initially, like you said, it's going to be a problem to obviously have access to your entire closet.
One thing you might want to play into is maybe just asking them what their style preference is. It's like, what colors do they have?
Mhm.
What brands do they use? What style do they typically have? And with the outcome of like getting an outfit, are you trying to change your look? Um, there might be some workarounds. So instead of uploading, you can ask them the questions. So
Right.
that way it's easier to actually get the action. Interview some people maybe around that. Ask them, be like, if they'll think that's enough, you can go two ways. The fun thing with prototyping is that you can give them both options and see which one they like better.
Right.
Um, so if you play around with the upload thing, I think if you were able to figure this out, I think that's going to be the activation loop because then they'll see the aha moment. So yeah,
Right. Makes sense. Thank you so much for your feedback.
of course, anytime.
See how supportive the community is. All right, champs. This is running close to 2 hours. I can give me a second here. Thank you all for coming through. This was amazing what Kylie was able to go out there and do here for y'all. She landed multiple product manager offers remotely. So for everybody that stuck it out from day one all the way to day four, just took a look at how many people started this journey and then how many people actually delivered something.
Yeah.
Our intention here was to show you guys what you guys can do in just 4 days. So move fast. And how many people just kind of like gave up? But like, Tyler, what are your thoughts and everything?
I mean, I'm really grateful for everyone who stayed on here and continued. And I hope you guys can use some of these frameworks and also just like the feedback, not only from myself, but the other people that have been like communicating, like how you can further like excel in this. I hope you guys like this inspire you guys to keep trying to like vibe code, put your product, put yourself out there. Um, because that's what it's all about in this day and age. So thank you guys for deciding to choose to participate. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Move quickly, people. Move fast. Uh,
Are
honestly, just right now, I made a bunch of screenshots from everybody's project. I added like a little blurb. We're gonna drop a newsletter. Like, I always tell myself like I'm gonna do that for like every hackathon recap and I don't, but like just move fast, stop procrastinating. Uh yeah. Other than that, reach out to me directly if you're interested in joining the program. I am gonna reach out to Nina. I've been seeing you all week, and then also to Neil. I've been seeing you all week. Yo, let's go ahead and get you guys into get both of you into the program. With that said, next week we're starting back up again. It is almost mid-month, January 8th. Let's go ahead and get this job before Valentine's Day. That's what we're here to do. Now you guys have side projects. Let's go out there and get ready to comb the market with it. I'm gonna go hit the hay. Kylie, let's do you want to chat now? You want to chat a little bit later? I'm good either way.
Yeah, let's chat now.
Okay.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a marathoner. I guess this is my meeting day. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm just gonna hit you on the phone so I can get off this chair. All right. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Rubbing our recap coming up on YouTube. Thanks.
Yeah, no
Bye.
problem.